Hi everyone, this is Deborah and today I'm playing with doilies. I'm making a tote bag. Now I have a piece of fabric. It's around about 14 inches wide, maybe a tiny bit wider, and it's about 32 inches long. So I've got one whole piece that's going to make up the tote bag. I have it folded in half because I want to be mindful. I'm going to put these doilies on it. I want to be mindful that I don't put things upside down, although it may not matter. I'm just going to be mindful of that, which is why I've still got it folded in half. The other thing I need to be aware of, say if I put this down here with this in the corner, that wouldn't be any good because I'm going to box that corner, and so that piece there will be totally cut off. So there's all those sorts of little things you need to be aware of. Seam allowances, box corners, the bottom of the bag, so that's going to probably be about 4 inches on the bottom of the bag. But I will just place doilies and see what we get and what lands where. I don't know if I like that one there. I think I liked it where I had it before. Let me move that here. That's nice. And then I've got this one, which is only a scrap, but it's a really pretty scrap, so I think it deserves to get in there, don't you? This has got a rough edge on it as well, but we'll see how that goes. I think I'll put that under there like I had it before. And I like the orange that's in here, picking the orange up from there. That's probably going to get caught into the bottom of the bag. Well, that's okay. I don't suppose it matters if you have, in fact, it'd be nice to have something on the bottom part of the bag. And then I may put this one over the top there like that. I think I need more. It's looking a bit sparse to me. That's a bit dark. I like this, but I don't like this here because it's all washing away, whatever it is. It's the thread, I think, and it's so small, but I like the edge of it. So I could do the decorative edge like here. And that would be fine because it would be caught into that seam allowance, wouldn't it? What else have I got under here? Oh, I've got a really pretty one here. What do you think of putting it like that? Not sure about that. I quite like that there though. Like that. I'm quite liking that. I think that that looks quite nice, although I would like something here. I'm just cutting a medallion out of this white doily. I just think it needs a bit of texture on the front. Like here. Even overlapping here. Just trying to see how all that's going. And that's going to be hidden, which is good. I will sew these, making sure I don't sew them to the back piece of fabric. I might be pinning them to the back at the moment, but I'll make sure at the machine that I don't. Now I've got that upside down, so that's no good. Why didn't you tell me I had that upside down? I just looked and went, oh, that doesn't look very nice, and that's why. Now I don't know where I had this one. Was it here? And then that one there, was that right? And then this one under here, wasn't it? And that under there. Okay. I may turn this around because it's got a hole in it. I mean, that wouldn't bother me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to give it away or sell it or whatever. So people may not like that. They might think that that's a flaw. I would embrace that as something that's lovely myself, but you know, we're all different. Some people don't like that sort of thing, do they? So if you've got a lot of doilies, and I do still, even though I made a whole quilt out of doilies and things, then this is a good way to use some of them, I think. I'm going to go and sew all those down on the front, and then we'll turn it over and do the back and see how far we can get with it. All right, I've sewn all those down. Now I just need to cut it down. So I'm just using the side of the fabric as my guide to remove these bits. And then not the bottom bit yet, although I will. I'll flip this around and just do the other side. I'm going to find where that is so it's there. Yep. And I'm going to leave this one here, I think. Oh no, I'll take that off too, because I'll need to put a hem up the top of that. And then I'm going to flip these up. Although I sewed that one on, I'm definitely going to flip this one up and chop it off, say here. So that's a bit I don't like. Now that's going to be the top. Now see how this has sort of gone all tucked? I do have to stitch that down, but another thing, so I don't have a big lump there, would be to get another piece of doily, like this bit that I just chopped off or something, and put it in there. Let's have a look. Maybe I'll use another medallion. I'm just going to, that's my bad sewing because I hadn't pulled this taut when I was doing it. And so because of my bad sewing, I now have a correction to make, but that's okay. I'll just get my unpick and just slide it in there to kick off the ripping of this so I don't rip the back of the bag as well. I don't want that to happen. And just trim this just so I don't have a big fat lump on the edge of the bag. I mean, it's going to have texture anyway. Now if I put another one, although that's going to look a bit silly because it's going to be right above it, I could put a piece of lace over the top of it like this. I could do a whole piece of lace. I could do an actual piece of lace. Maybe that's the way to go because that seems to be fighting with the one above it. And I don't really want it to fray, although I do like that little medallion that's coming off there. Maybe I'll cut that and see what that's like. Maybe over a little bit. Where's my spot there? Quite like that. That's what I'll do. I'll just go and sew that down as well. What else can we put on here? I think that's all right for now. This is now the back of the bag, so let me show you that front piece. Quite happy with how that turned out. Of course, I can add more if I wanted to. I could add buttons and things on it. I don't think I want to. I'm, you know, as usual, want to get it finished so I can see what it looks like. Now let's see what else we've got. I've got this big lavender piece, which is really pretty, but it's got the stain on it, which is it's just a pity, isn't it, that it's stained. I could cut that out and just use that. I might do that. Cut it out as close as I can get. I'm going to find my little ruler. There it is. And this is going to go up here, so some of that stain will be caught in the seam allowance. And then I'll probably end up adding a button on top because it's too pretty not to use it. I've got more. What else? What else? Another little piece here. It's got a pretty little edge on it too. I like that. That there. And I've got some things that aren't quite as bright because I don't want, you know, these sort of larger, more colourful pieces to, you know, be lost in a sea of other large colourful pieces. I've got a bit that I cut off before from the other side. I want something a bit quieter, which could be that. I'm going to cover a lot of that, and that might not work, but it will work down here like that. And that one that I tried to use before. It's coming apart a little bit. It's just because it's old. Put it under there and under there, couldn't I? So I've got a little bit of it, or turn it round. That might even be better. So you can actually see it, but I could cover that little bit down there. I also have this, which I use some of in my quilt. And again, it's very old and it's very, it's falling apart. But I really love it. So it's a bit hard not to use things if you love them. What else have I got? I've got a little hanky. This one. A bit all too round, isn't it? Needs something a bit squarer. It's got a bit too many curves on it, hasn't it, I think. That one there. And where's that little bit of thing I had from the other side? That down there. That looks a bit silly. But it might look all right over here. Yep. A bit of green. Square as well, so that'll probably work quite well. And it'll hide that. There's my pins. I'll start pinning them. I think it needs something else on it. Just straighten that up a bit. It's a bit crooked, isn't it? And I have a Battenberg, part of a Battenberg. I might put the Battenberg up here. Perhaps I could put a bit of that Battenberg down there as well when I cut it off. I think it needs something else. I'm not sure what. I'll sew this and then we'll see where we're up to. And with this one, I'm going to cut it off here. And I'll do the same with this one, which is the Battenberg. Cutting it a little bit wider than the fabric, but that'll get tidied up when I sew the side seams. And I haven't sewn that down on all of that as yet, because I do need more on here. I need certainly something on this bottom piece here. And I think I need something on here too. Maybe another one of those medallions on this side would look good. Let's put one on and see. Cut it out first. I'll put it slightly off center, otherwise it looks like I'm trying to hide something, which I was actually trying to hide that stain. Whereas if I just put it off center, it looks a bit more natural. Put it up the right way, might that help? There you go. What have I got left? I haven't tacked those edges down, but that's fine. I've sewn the others all on. I haven't sewn that bit there, I'll have to do that. But I do need something here. Maybe I will use that bit that I had here. Piece of this. Sort of weird shaped piece, I could use that. I don't want to hide too much of that though. I will have to just use a zigzag or something on that edge so that it doesn't fray. I have to do the same on this edge here too, just so it doesn't fray. And that's going to be the bottom of the bag anyway. So these two, I will do that, and I will also stitch that down and put some stitching on the bottom of that across there. Okay, that's done. That's that side. That's that side. Now I have to box the corners, make the lining. Oh, I'll show you that zigzag. I didn't think I showed you that. So there's the zigzag there and the zigzag here. And that's going to be the bottom of the bag, so you're not really going to notice much of that at all. And I have to have a think about how I'm going to line it and how I'm going to, what sort of handles I'm going to put on. So I'll go away and have a think about that, and I shall come back with this and finish it in the next video. But for now, thanks for watching. This is Deborah. Cheers.